real quick. Stop worrying about a GR Corolla catching on fire. They're not catching on fire. Let me tell you why. I never really thought that I would have to discuss this, but given the amount of people that have messaged me about this GR Corolla business and GR Corollas catching on fire, I figured I'd have to just give you my thoughts on it, okay? It's gonna be fairly quick, and it's gonna have some factual things in there for anybody that's thinking about buying one of these cars, what to actually think. Let's jump into it. So I'll be frank, I've been a tad tired of the conversation around the GR Corolla catching on fire. Not because people shouldn't be informed, they should be. It's more so that it's a lot of questions, either from, I would say, and I could be wrong, that people aren't even trying to buy the car. Either they like the negativity around something that is very popular amongst the owners like myself who enjoy the car and what it can do and what it's like. And headline sell. Okay, sensationalism is the name of the game right now when it comes to even YouTube or the news or anything else you see online, right? Let me hit you with the headlines. So the headlines you've seen recently of the GR Corolla is that 2 of them caught on fire. And almost every single post and video I've seen of people talking about Toyota denying a warranty, the fires, is it a risk? I should wait until model year 2030 because I was never really gonna buy the car anyways, but this gives me a reason to kind of jump in on the conversation and say, I was just about to get one, but those 2 fires, I'm concerned, okay? But I don't even think people are really concerned. I think that it's just something to talk about. So what's my opinion on it? This is where it started. See, both of those 2 fires happened in the engine bay. And so now, because these are 3-cylinder turbo engines, there are some people that say, see, this car is too high strung, the 3-cylinder can't handle all that pressure from the turbo. A bunch of foolishness, because it's engineered how it's engineered. It's not like they took away 1 cylinder and weakened the ability for the motor to handle what they built just to say, save a few dollars. Because it's not like it's a cheap car. So there's nothing being saved. They are literally just building the car that they want to build, and a 3-cylinder turbo is an engine that they put in there, and it's not an uncommon idea. So this isn't something that's brand new. It's been done before, and it's been done very well. But the 2 cars in question, their fire started from under the hood. So that's why we're going to start here and have a conversation. See, I have modifications on mine, right? I have a downpipe, I have mid-pipe. I've already talked about, if you've seen my other videos and you haven't, like and subscribe to the channel. I've talked about the mods I've done in this car. We're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about, is this a fire risk? I'm here to tell you, it is not. The GR Corolla is not at risk of going on fire, nor should you worry about it if you're trying to buy one. So really, what's the big concern? Why is everybody running around worried about the idea that one of these cars could possibly catch on fire? See, those 2 cases, the main reason why they were talked about so much is because Toyota denied their warranty claim. Now, if you're new to the idea of warranties, insurance is what covers the idea of a fire and a flood and damage to the car. Now, warranty would kick in if they determine that there is a defect in the car that caused them to have a fire under the hood. Now, I'll say this. I'm not saying that these manufacturers won't try to find a way to get out of being on the hook for a brand new car. But I will say that they will do their investigation as deep as they have to determine whether something was tampered with or modified or changed in a way that would cause the engine to catch on fire, and that way they would not have to worry about it. But that is where your insurance comes in, because they would cover, if you have gap insurance as well, the difference between maybe what you owe on the car and what it's worth on the market. But the main reason why it was such a sensational amount of videos, including mine, I'm in the mix now, I didn't want to be, but here I am, is because of the denial of the warranty. People in the comments saying it's a lawsuit waiting to happen. I don't know if I was gonna buy, I'm not buying one of the cars now. I'm nervous about what they can do. And I always said none of that really matters, because if somebody was concerned about fires in a vehicle, almost every single car on the road has a potential to catch on fire. But you don't really hear people running around talking about, hey, does that car have a potential to catch on fire? I think a lot of it is due to the fact that the GR Corolla is very popular. It costs a certain amount of money. It is in a very enthusiast group where we are very vocal and we are very much speaking about the car on a daily basis. Most of the commodity cars you see, people drive them to work and home and to drop the kids off to school, and they're just worried about it lasting to 200,000 miles. We're in the pocket of, I want to modify, I want to change it, I want to know what the performance can be. But how often do cars actually catch on fire that you should be concerned about? Let me give you some random facts that you probably didn't ask for, but I'm trying to put all of this in perspective, and at the end, it's all going to make sense. I'm going to wrap it up nice and neatly. So you're thinking about a GR Corolla. You're concerned about the 2 cars that caught on fire and everybody talking about them. And everybody saying that you should be concerned. Should I be worried? Do I want to buy one now? Is Toyota going to make a recall on the car? But how often does this really happen, that cars catch on fire? Or is it Toyota one of those people that you should be concerned about? More specifically, should you be concerned about the GR Corolla catching on fire? Let me give you a random stat. In 2017, Hyundai and Kia recalled 3.7 million cars for risk of fire or thermal incident, which I would imagine is something like extreme overheating. 3.7 million cars. The concern right here is about the GR Corolla. But Toyota has done up to 7.4 million recalls across Camry, RAV4s, Tundras. But I bet no one is really asking if the Toyota Camry is something to worry about a fire risk, or the RAV4. It probably never crosses your mind. Though there are more of those that have caught on fire than a GR Corolla, by the tens of thousands or more, right? And that, obviously that's because there's more of those cars out there. But they had to recall those cars. Now, what else did they have to recall? They even recalled 168,000 Tundra and Tundra hybrids for the same thing, risk of a fire. Neither of these cars I'm talking about is the GR Corolla. But let's get to why. Okay, so what happened? Why are we even doing this video? What happened? So, 2 GR Corollas catch on fire. Now, the question you have to ask when I was talking about them stats was because I'm trying to give you perspective about how many times cars have been recalled for potential fire risk and how many of those cars are on the road. Like I said, Tundras, Camrys, and RAV4s are on the road by the tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands. But the GR Corolla, how many of these have actually been sold in the US? 5,739. Let me repeat that again. 5,739 GR Corollas have been sold in the US. Of all 5,739, 2 caught on fire. Now, if you wanted to know the percentage, we can do some quick math. Let's do some quick math real quick. We got to take the whole by the part, we divide it, the percentage. 0.035% of all GR Corollas have caught on fire. Listen, this is not a concern. If I told you, hey, out of all the cars you've driven, 0.035% of them caught on fire, you would shrug your shoulders and say, hey, that percentage is great. That's less than 1%. We don't need to worry about GR Corollas catching on fire. And let's talk about more of it. How many GR Yaris's have been sold? So worldwide, we have about 25,000 GR Yaris's have been sold across UK, Japan, Australia, all the other countries outside of the US. Now, if we add our 5,739 to the mix, about 30,739. What's that percentage? 0.0065% of all the GR Corollas sold across the globe and GR Yaris's, 2 cars caught on fire. Now, I know you're gonna say, CarQuicks, we're talking about the GR Corolla, not the GR Yaris. They're the same car. They're built in the same factory. Motomachi Toyota factory in Japan. Same assembly line, same drivetrain. Now, before somebody jumps into the weeds and says there are some differences in the motor, none of them pertain to the ability for them to probably catch on fire when we're talking about the components on it. So we got 2 of the same cars built in the same factory, side by side, shipped from the same manufacturer, and no one outside in the GR Yaris's has ever talked about a fire. But we have 2 in the US that have questionable origins, meaning we don't really know exactly what happened. Toyota has not released the information on why they denied the claim. And the owners of those cars haven't really said much other than the sensational headline of somebody in Toyota that I somewhat believe and somewhat don't believe, talking about the tires being the reason of the fire. Mainly, I believe, because if you ever worked in customer service, IT, or any of that, support, they have that support across the globe. So anybody else could have got that story and been told, hey, we're denying that claim. And they could have just figured out a story and said, hey, your tires, you went over 85 miles an hour. That's why. Just to find something to document. But we got to put on our thinking caps and realize that that's probably not why that thing was denied. We got to think about outside the box. Why would Toyota deny it on a tire that's rated on Y, which is 186 miles an hour? And I have Continentals on my car, but the car comes as Michelin Pilot Sports. So if you're thinking outside the box, just critically thinking, you're like, I think that was just something that they were just saying to just document why they were denying the claim. But Toyota found something that warranted them saying, hey, we're not giving you a warranty on that engine. Your insurance is going to take care of it. But most importantly, the fact that I'm saying all this is to give people a perspective. You're talking about two that are not being documented as something that happened outside of the owner's own doing, or on Toyota's end when it comes to the manufacturing. And out of the two, the other owners, myself included, there's 5,737 that are out on the market that are not talking about a fire. So you don't need to concern yourself with the two that we don't even have the full story on. And I'll give you some more. 5,739 GR Corollas have sold in the US, and two of them happen to catch on fire. But what about me as an owner? I have near 38,000 miles on my car, modified. I just came off a road trip over 4,000 miles. Friends of mine have over 36,000 miles, 40,000 miles. There's a guy online that has over 70,000 miles. Talk to the people that actually drive this car, and we'll tell you, no one is concerned about a fire, because it has to happen consistently. And really, it has to happen on cars that are untouched. Like if somebody had a stock car and 3 or 4 of them came out and said, hey, my car just caught on fire randomly in the garage. My car caught on fire when I was driving. I have no modifications, completely stock. That is when we are concerned. But if you tamper with the car, if you modify it, you do put yourself at a risk if you do not know what you're doing, for the fact that something could be wrong in your install. But anybody else, if any other car had only 2, if there was only 2 ways of you getting a fire and all other 6,000 cars were completely fine, why are we concerned? I'm gonna give you another random stat that I saw. 1 out of 6 Americans will get a foodborne illness just because they went to a restaurant. And of those foodborne illnesses, 44% of them come from a restaurant. So when you're driving your GR Corolla to go out to eat, just know you're at a higher risk of getting a stomach virus wherever you're eating at than it is if your car ever catching on fire in your entire lifetime. Listen, like I've said before, this isn't to be concerned with. Do not listen to anyone telling you that these cars just happen to catch on fire. They don't. Those 2 that happen, we never know we never know the full story. We'll never get the full story. I promise you that. But I will tell you that as an owner, as me driving it, I'll report if this thing happened to catch a fire not from my doing. But if I hear of something else, I'll report back. And hey, here's another thing. That person, one of those people whose car caught on fire, guess what they replaced it with? You got it, a GR Corolla. I'll be back later. Listen, man, the car is fine. Go buy it. If you were gonna buy it, I do have a thing where I believe most of these people concerned, we're never gonna buy the car anyways. I mean, I know that's just my own opinion on it. I'm just saying, 2 out of 5,739 on the road. Man, listen, like and subscribe to the channel and watch my videos. Watch a GR Corolla owner who doesn't have fires happen randomly, okay? Listen, follow my journey. If there happens to be something like that crazy enough that happens, I got a few people who's pretty much stock GR Corollas. We're gonna find out if it's really a concern. And guess what? If it is, we'll report to it. But for now, listen, rest easy, rest peacefully, okay? Put your head down, have sweet dreams. The GR Corolla will not catch on fire. Random sidebar. I'm merging into traffic, hold on. This car, I know I did the exhaust video, but this car sounds amazing. Oh snap. Almost got close to that 86 miles an hour. Almost blew myself up. I gotta chill out. Listen, if you're that concerned that Toyota's gonna somehow deny you a warranty claim because you think a GR Corolla is just gonna up and flambe itself, then just ride a bike. This world ain't for you. Especially not cars. I just told you. There's multiple millions of cars being recalled for fires. If these two out of the GR Corolla bunch got you this concerned, hey man, it's better to just stick to a bike, walk, take public transportation. This world of car ownership, it ain't for you. Obviously, you're a little too nervous about it. I understand though. You know, everybody has their thing. But listen, for me, this GR Corolla, flawless.